Hey guys, welcome back to Karting with Chris. Today's video is going to be the Summer 1 pre-final race. Now, I'm going to give you guys a heads up real quick. I think I'm in the process of losing my voice, so if I sound funny, just keep that in mind. I'm going to try and do the best I can.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Maybe because it sounds like you're talking with a mouthful of syrup, I just didn't get it.
So we're going to be starting in 5th place for this race, and, you know, as normal, I cannot remember people's names. So this is the driver lineup. So I'm starting in 5th place, Colton's starting in 4th, and we were drafting together in qualifying, and we set the exact same lap time on the exact same lap. So today's group of people was extremely competitive. There's a lot of really fast drivers here today, and you know, I was pretty happy with that qualifying, especially since we're starting on the inside. So the game plan for the start is to not let anyone on the outside in front of me. That's easier said than done because sometimes things happen that aren't planned. So we're going to try and hug Ethan's bumper in front of us, push him as much as we can without, you know, taking him out. So we're going down the back straight here. We're looking for the flagman to wave green. We're green and we're good to go. So right off the bat, we see Adrian. He's eyeing us, and I just screwed it up. I'm just going to be honest with that. And then going through turn 2 up here, I get a little sideways. It wasn't on purpose. And now the top 3 people are just a fraction of a cart too far ahead of me for me to get that draft. And I'm hoping the guy behind me will push me so these top 3 people don't pull away too quickly. So there is someone behind me, and they had a similar lap time to me in qualifying, so I'm hoping that he can help me and catch up to these guys. But coming out of these last couple of corners, we can see that there's already a gap behind me and there's already a gap in front of me. So right off the bat, on lap 1, I'm already in no man's land. So when you're in a scenario like this, there's only a couple things that can happen for you to have any real success. So the top people, they can battle too much and you catch up to them and start drafting with them, or the people behind you start battling too much and they don't, you know, have enough speed to catch up to you, or you become an absolute karting legend and catch up to 3 people who are drafting.
Speed. I am speed. 1 winner, 42 losers. I eat losers for breakfast.
Now, I'm hoping that third option can happen, but, you know, that's probably not going to happen. So my best bet is for these guys up ahead to start battling, but I know that if they're going to go for a move, they're going to make it clean and not dilly-dally. So if you look in the top left corner, you can see the people behind me have battled quite a bit. So the people behind me, not worried about them. I'm now focusing on the people in front of me. So the main advantage this train in front of me is going to have is going to be on the straights, because they'll have that draft and they can go a little bit faster. So if we look ahead, we can see the person in 2nd place is going for the move on 1st, and I think Ethan is now in 1st place, and that is Chuck in 3rd, and that will have slowed them down, but as you can see, it obviously didn't slow them down enough for me to catch up to them. So as we're finishing lap 3 and heading to lap 4, watch what happens in turn 1. We can see Chuck is just a little bit behind the top 2 people, and this is a chance for me to catch up to Chuck, because if he's not in that draft, he's not going to be as fast as those guys. But on the other hand, Chuck is a very fast driver. He qualified in 1st. So if he does fall away from the people in front of him, it's going to be really hard to catch up to him. Not impossible, but it's a bit of wishful thinking. So when you're in a scenario like this, you know, in no man's land, no one in front of you, no one behind you, I've said it before, it's easy to lose focus. And what I do is I usually either aim for a person in front of me or aim for a certain lap time. So today we were doing high 41s, and so that was my aim, to do high 41s. I wouldn't recommend experimenting with your lines. I mean, you can just a little bit, maybe just brake a little harder here, maybe a little less here, but I wouldn't, like, you know, try out going through 7 full throttle, because, you know, that's just not going to work. So going through turn 7 up here, we can see Chuck in 3rd place has kind of dropped back from the 2 people in front of him, but we haven't necessarily caught up to him. So, you know, we are still trying to catch up to him, but it's not looking like we're going to catch up to him in the next couple of laps. But there are people behind me working together trying to catch up to me, and those two people are Ross and Colton, and they were actually setting the fastest laps of the race. So if they're working together and setting the fastest laps, they're going to be able to catch up to me. So going through the chicane up here, look at the fence on the right hand side. There's going to be people waving their arms. I actually didn't know who those guys were waving at. It took me till lap 6 to figure out that they were waving to me. So if you were part of that group waving, and you want me to give you a shout out in the final race, just drop a comment below of what you want me to say or something like that. And I do apologize if I didn't acknowledge you guys waving sooner. I didn't really think you guys were waving to me. I thought you were waving to the 3 people in front of me. But if you do want to be in my videos, you can do one of 2 things. You can either come up to me and ask me, I don't bite, or you can just join 206 Senior and race against me. So going down the straight here, I give my waving fans a thumbs up. I finally acknowledged them on lap 7. And then going through turn 7, we can see Ross and Colton are catching up to me. This is the second to last lap. We're about to start the last lap. That gap is pretty big, but if they're working together, they can close that gap. So at this point in the race, obviously you can see nowhere near the people in front of me, so my attention has gone straight to the people behind me. I know for a fact, because that gap is still quite large, that if I just drive my line, they shouldn't be able to catch up to me at the end. So since they're working together, they're going to have the biggest advantage on me through the straight. So on this straight right here, that's where they're going to catch up to me the most. But through the corners, it should be about even if we're driving the same lines. And then coming out of turn 7, entering turn 8 and 9, we look behind me, and I've already told myself that they're not close enough to overtake me at the end. So starting 5th, finishing in 4th, that's a Karting with Chris video confirmed. I tend to get a lot of those, but whenever I finish in the top 5, I'm usually happy about that, especially since this group of people is very competitive. But that's all I have for today. If you liked the video, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, please comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.